the dummy standing, my horse stood very quiet. I set a nice trap. I had my tip over the calf's back, and that definitely would have caught 2 feet. Moving into the heeling, while circling to position, I built while circling. My horse was on a loose rein with minimal leg pressure. Once I got my loop built, I made sure to keep my tip towards my target as I went through this last turn. My horse went to position well, stood quietly. I got a swing over the calf's back and then set my trap. I feel that this trap would have also caught 2 feet. In the dallying drill, I made sure to slip some rope and back my horse, and stack some dallies on, and then pop my dallies. In the dummy doctoring, I got my horse to position. I started swinging a little bit before the balance point, so I should have waited a step or two, but my horse was very quiet, and I had a good shot. In the cow pen, I made sure to visualize my shot first, stepping behind the balance point, swinging, and then throwing, making sure to pull my slack and dally, as well as keeping my horse faced. Moving into my actual shot, I made sure to get to position, step behind the calf's balance point before I started swinging. Once the calf was influenced, I swung, took my shot, and dallied and backed my horse, as well as keeping faced. Moving into the barrels, I decided to step up a little bit from the groundwork, side passing through the barrels while I'm going down the first time, as well as keeping my swing. Made sure to keep the tip of my loop pointed to where my target would be. My horse's temperament was good through here. As well, he showed great willing submission. It was very supple. I decided to show some stage 4, as well as keeping tip my loop aimed forward. Moving into the rimfire drill, did a good job of keeping my horse's nose towards the rope. I didn't get rimfired. He's a little slow to react here towards the end. And moving into my score sheet, the helomatic standing, my horse stood very quiet, so I scored myself a 7 on horsemanship. And as for my roping, I caught, and it was very correct, so I scored myself a 7 as well. Moving into the helomatic with circles position, my horsemanship, I scored myself a 6.5 because my horse was very quiet, but he gaped his mouth a little while I was dallying. In my roping, I scored myself a 7 once again because I would have caught, and it was a very correct trap. In the dummy doctoring, with the willing submission in vertical direction, as well as stepping behind the balance point when throwing, I scored myself a 6 because I started my swing before the balance point, but I still had very good positioning and followed through well. In the dummy doctoring for roping, I scored myself a 7 because I did catch and my swing was correct. In the cow pen for stockmanship, I scored myself a 6 because I had good position and I stayed faced and dallied well, but I feel like I could have moved more fluidly and supplely. In this cow pen for stockmanship, I scored myself a 7 because I did catch and it was a very correct swing and throw. In the barrels for horsemanship, I scored myself a 7 because my horse is very willing and supple, as well as showing low temperament throughout. In the barrels for roping, I scored myself a 6 because it was a very correct swing, but I docked myself at some points because I was slow on the rimfire prevention drill.